Betrayal hurts. You give every ounce of your soul to the people you love, and then they break your heart. One dame walked out on me. That image. That last time you saw them in the doorway. It stains your mind. It's funny. The brain is the human tool for self-preservation, but it obsesses in your pain. The wounds from the past can be shrouded, but they never truly disappear.
What the fuck is that noise?
We might be in trouble, Stadians. Take a trip. Wait. That's better. Take a trip back with me to 2016. Everyone's crying in their beds to Hello by Adele. People paid more attention to a dead gorilla than a civil war in Syria. And Hillary Clinton was telling everyone to
Pokemon go to the polls.
What a time to be alive. It was also the advent of a secret world-class gaming project by Google to break into the gaming industry to rival the likes of Sony and Microsoft. It would be called Project Yeti, and it would be spearheaded by Phil Harrison. For those who don't know Phil Harrison, he is a former PlayStation and Xbox executive, and he both looks and talks like a James Bond villain. It's also worth noting that not only was he both a PlayStation and Xbox executive at one time, he presided over these brands at their lowest points. He was president of SCE Worldwide Studios when Sony announced the PS3 would retail for $7 billion and launch with 4 games. He was also one of the main faces on the E3 stage to tell us that Xbox One would always need an internet connection, and then if you bought a game that someone else had owned, oh, whoopsie daisy, you can't fucking play it. As a matter of fact, Phil Harrison's tenure at Microsoft was so notable, this is the blurb about it on Wikipedia. What a seismic shift in history. Google would go on to publicly announce the service, now called Project Stream, in October of 2018. The promise? Video games streamed right to your device. No dumb box to weigh you down. It actually was really promising. The idea that you could play a massive AAA big budget game without having to undergo a 100 plus gigabyte download or buy an expensive box was pretty compelling. I think most people who want to play massive AAA games already have an expensive box and internet fast enough to download these games, but what do I know? I'm not a market researcher. Initial reception to Project Stream's open beta was pretty positive, and the tenor of the industry was, oh my god, we're about to have a 4th major player in the console wars, and it's Google. I'm selling my PS5 right now. All that was left was an official reveal, and on March 19th, 2019. Oh yeah, here we go, guys. It's giving E3. But like the bad years when nobody cared anymore. One thing I love is they have this historical display of gaming artifacts all leading up to Stadia. Like, hey, Stadia is the next big thing. And the actual sequence leading to Stadia is the Dreamcast, the Power Glove, and E.T. the video game. I guess Google knows where they stand. So we jump into the press conference, and right away, we get the big guns.
Please welcome to the stage the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai.
I suppose I should start out with a confession. I'm actually not a big gamer.
Okay, we're off to a good start.
While I'm not a big gamer, I do have the privilege of working at a company and leading a company full of people who love to solve hard computer science problems. For many Googlers...
Wait. No one told me that people who work at Google are called Googlers. Don't you need to go on some kind of registry after that? Mr. Google CEO man goes on to talk about how much Googlers love games, and games are cool. Also, we're doing work in AI.
DeepMind's AlphaZero uses self-play to learn from scratch and master games like chess, shogi, and Go.
And not just that, it'll go tell you how to light up a fat one while you're growing your seed.
So now we are focused on our next big effort, which is to build a game platform for everyone.
Yeah, you see, not everyone can buy a $200 Switch Lite. but everyone owns a $1,000 smartphone. Mr. CEO leaves and plays a dumb video about why it's called Stadia. You see, people came together in stadiums to watch the gladiators. Now people watch people say racial slurs on Twitch. We're bridging that gap.
It's important that we have the right people working on this. That starts with Phil Harrison. Take it away, Phil.
Thank you, Sundar. At the center of that community are the game developers that create the most incredible game experiences that delight players through a dazzling display of technology, artistry, and magic.
Phil Harrison famously knows a lot about magic from his famous tenure as a professor at Hogwarts.
And within that passionate community, there is a universe of people who love playing games, and there's a universe of people who love watching games.
You know, they're really hammering home the whole watching games thing. Maybe the cracks are starting to show earlier than I thought. You see, we want to give gamers what they always wanted, an easier way to watch Markiplier. I'm doing the British accent, but you'll notice I didn't do the Indian one. I'm not trying to lose my job for this shit until I'm at least 300 subscribers.
Our vision is to bring those worlds closer together, to connect game developers with players and YouTube creators in a way that only Google can.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I went after that Days Gone creator pretty hard in the last video, and I don't want to connect that bad. I don't want that kind of smoke. You know, considering his great track record of tanking brands, I really expected Phil Harrison to be a talentless hack. But he has one true, extraordinary talent: being phenomenally boring.
Through the power of our data centers, fundamental technology data center, 1080p and 60 frames per second, Google data centers to a Chrome browser. You told us you wanted to unleash your creativity without limits, get to the widest possible scale, and make it easier for people to connect with your games. We used these three themes to anchor our vision and build our platform architecture, and began to share it with the leading publishers and developers in the world.
And they said, nah, we good, actually. Phil eventually gets to one of the most promising Stadia features, the Play Now feature. You see a game you like on YouTube, you hit Play Now, and within seconds, you're playing. No download or patch, you just need decent internet.
Our platform vision for Stadia is to reduce the friction between getting excited about a game and playing a game.
Oh man. Don't reduce the friction too much, Phil. I'm starting to get hot and heavy. You might make me a Googler. Maybe I should have left that one in the drafts.
And we're about to show this to you now. This is not a concept, it's not a test, this is real.
Phil's about to put his Hogwarts experience to good use.
Imagine you've just discovered that game for the first time, you're running it on the Chrome browser, and the game is running directly from our data center.
Yeah, dude, it's a fucking Chromebook. If that was running natively, it would look like fucking Chernobyl in there. And then they play it on the phone, and then they play it on the PC, and then they play it on the tablet, and then they play it on the TV. And then Phil says,
Great presentation.
bro, he played for 6 seconds. No wonder Phil cares about watching games so much. A ninja stream looks like fucking wizardry to him. Wizardry.
I'd like to introduce you to the newest member of the Google hardware family, the Stadia controller.
Looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. It looks like a comfortable ass controller. Not sure I understand the reasoning behind giving us a mint chocolate chip ass looking one, but...
And there are many advantages to the Stadia controller. And the first is that it will connect through Wi-Fi directly to the game that is running in the Google data center.
It's giving success.
The Stadia controller features 2 very important new buttons.
New buttons? Let's fucking go!
The capture button is for sharing and saving your game experience back out to YouTube.
That's not fucking new.
And the second one is the Google Assistant button.
Immediately access a blowjob from Alexa? I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Too much water.
I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, the head of engineering for Stadia, Marj Bakar.
Thanks so much, Bill.
I'm retiring the accents for today. It was fun while it lasted.
In order to deliver an amazing experience for your games, we needed to bring powerful computing closer to users.
Oh man, he's just talking about the data centers. This is worse than Phil.
Data centers, Google Data Center, Stadia's data center, and here's how the graphical power of Stadia compares to the top 2 consoles in the market. You can see, thank you.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I know what that means. They call me Digital Foundry because I know exactly what that would look like. I'm not going to tell you. From here, Marty Stratton from id is brought on stage to give a live demo of Doom Eternal.
When we first met with Google about game streaming, frankly, we were skeptical.
Skeptical? Ye of little faith, Google's never abandoned a project before. I mean, it's probably been at least a few weeks. Oh yeah, so here's that live demo. It's coming. It's coming. It's definitely not just going to be a logo. Nope. Nope. It's going to be a live demo. Let's watch.
We actually can't wait to show you more of Doom Eternal very soon, in fact. Thanks so much.
Oh, okay. So we're not getting a live demo. My B. Sorry. No, it's just a logo. Phil comes back out to talk specs a bit more and promises cross-platform play, definitely out of the goodness of their heart and not because they're worried about low player counts.
Please welcome to the stage our lead designer for research and development at Stadia, Erin Hoffman-Jung.
Thank you, Phil. One of our team's favorite comments about Project Stream was a tweet that described Stadia's technology as the work of wizards.
Poor Phil. The Muggles are going to have a field day. All right, let's just kind of speed through some of this. They're just talking about features they never implemented anyway.
With Stadia and a new feature called Crowd Play, you'll be able to simply click a button displayed right in the stream and jump in and play with YouTube creators that you're watching.
This is by far the coolest feature Google talks about in this presentation. Just imagine an alternate reality where Fortnite is a launch title on Google Stadia and Ninja, or even better, former Vice President Al Gore, queue up a game and populate it entirely with people watching their stream on YouTube. All you have to do is sign up for Stadia. What a great launch plan. Well, we didn't get that. So blah, 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 Jade Raymond, new studio that never did anything, launching 2019. See you then, Stadians.
The fuck?
Google Stadia officially launched on November 19th, 2019. The only way to play at launch was to buy the Founders Edition for $130, which, yeah, is pretty cheap when you compare it to most video game consoles, but I still feel like I'm being ripped off when I'm buying something that's in the cloud. With the Founders Edition, by the way, you get a sexy night blue Stadia controller. Limited edition, by the way. Unlike the other Stadia controllers, which you can definitely still buy to this day. Don't look that up. You get that, a Chromecast, and 3 months of Stadia Pro. Reaction wasn't great. Every other streaming service that exists in the cloud is pretty much just a flat subscription fee, whereas Stadia would force you to buy your games. The only caveat being you can sign up for Stadia Pro, which then gives you 2 free, I don't know why I made free 2 syllables, 2 free games a month, as long as your subscription is active. This was really stupid. Selling Google Stadia as basically a console you have to buy completely defeated the purpose of all of those ease of use features you were flaunting in the first place. And I don't know who wants to break this to Google, but people who play video games like buying video game hardware. Stadia's launch was panned when people were paying attention, because most people just ignored it. People were already anticipating that Stadia would become another one of Google's many failed services and product launches. But there was a small but dedicated user base, mostly active on Reddit. So why don't we check it? There's a baby here. Stadia. All right, I like this. The first thing you see when you log on to the Stadia community now is, hey, look at me using the Stadia controller for things that are not Stadia. Which, you know, to be fair, I don't know what else you would use this community for now. Why don't we sort by top of all time. That's community highlights. I thought it was saying the top rated post of all time was Stadia controller. How to not use it on Stadia. Big old fucking pimple on my head. It has a mind of its own. You know, I might not be going places, but this pimple's gonna take over the world someday. And then what are you people gonna say? What are you people gonna say to me, huh? You gonna eat my ass? Or are you not gonna do that just because I keep hitting my chair against the wall? So yeah, this is the top rated Reddit post of all time. Not a good sign for a gaming community. The number 2 highest rated post of all time is we're shutting down Stadia. This is spoilers for the video. I'm gonna talk about this soon. Stadia has officially gone 40 days. 40 days without a new game announcement or release, feature update, real community update. Man, shit got real bad, didn't it? Holy God. Thanks, Webcam Me. What a fun segment that totally wasn't mired by audio issues whatsoever.
Fight! Fight!
Google Stadia, suffice to say, never got off the ground. And it was announced by Google on September 29th, 2022, that the service would go completely off the grid in just a few short months. Google tried to break into the console market, and if not for being too early and a few other short-sighted mistakes, I can see a world where they succeeded. To Google's credit, they refunded all of the money they made off Stadia back to the consumers, and also allowed Stadia controllers to connect to Bluetooth devices so they could continue to be used. Sometimes, that dame you've been waiting for comes too early. You wait all your life for the right one, only to realize you're not the right one for yourself just yet. Why does this keep happening?
Let me be clear, me Plaza man. Mass Senator, whoever you are.
It is quite unclear.
I've left Hogwarts. I'm coming for you.
And not because they're worried about poor Claire. Poor Claire Pounce.
Data centers.